Hi everybody, just sitting in the dark of Shabbat Shalom, and something just hit me and just wanted to share it, record this moment. Right now, as you see, I have the camera pointed to two candles on a tray. And if you look at these candles and the light that they emit, like this one has more of a darkening hue around it, and this one is a lot brighter. Just, the nature of sometimes how a candle burns. And this one is higher up, but this one's lower down, but this one has more light. This one has less light because of the darkness around it. Anyway, the point is there's two candles. Now, when I take this one candle away, and there's just one candle, that candle is still, burning its own light, and this candle over here is burning its own light, but now they're separated by distance, right? And then when these two come together again, they shine brighter together as two, because essentially the two are becoming one in terms of a couple, a marriage of a man and a woman coming together, and the two become one flesh. And when the one of the two decides to not participate the same way, and I'm using this illustration, one person is really burning their candle and using their energy, and the candle's like going down, but they're still burning really brightly, right? And this one over here, there's a lot more candle left, but they're just dull because they're just dull. And when this person decides that even though they have a lot of life left in them, but they're not going to use it appropriately and they're going to abuse it, this person over here is basically, we'll use that phrase, burning the candle at both ends. So they're burning faster and they're doing more tasks because the other person isn't participating at the same intensity or level. So this person is overworking themselves. And this person over here is basically, again, I'm using the description, someone who's an addict. They're burning out the resources. They're, using drugs, narcissism, etc., and they're not capable to handle the responsibilities. Even though they've got full amount of fuel, they can't do it. And the person over here is burning the candle at both ends and just continuously going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny. And eventually, there comes a point where the person over here is going to say, I'm realizing that this unity thing that I thought that I had, there's this distance here. He's not around. And I'm doing all the work. I'm thinking that he's doing the work, but he's really not doing the work. I'm doing the work. And I'm aligned to God our Father and His Son Jesus and the Holy Spirit. And I know I'm abiding. But I'm not so sure this one over here is, because he's flickering out, he's not paying attention, he's messing things up. And the unity of what I thought I had, the light, I'm having to work so much harder, but my light is bright. So now when this guy comes back and he still, has a dim candle and he's not really pulling his weight, eventually this person is going to say, I really want this unity with you, but dude, what's up? You're not really present. You're not really protecting me. You don't have my back. You're not doing the things that you say that you're going to do. You're not having integrity in this relationship. And I don't really know what's going on. I have my suspicions, but I can't prove anything. And at the same time, I love you, and I want this unity of two, but like, you're burning me out. Look, I'm like almost out of wax, and you've still got a full candle, and you're not using your skills or your intelligence. You feel like you're not even here. You're here, but you're not even here. So if things don't shape up, I don't know about this unity. I mean, we're engaged, we're not married yet, and I really want somebody that's going to be fully present. So his feelings get hurt, and he goes over here, and she says, you might want to contemplate what you really are making promises to me and God about, because I want the unity, but you gotta, be able to hold your weight. And so over here, eventually, this guy, with what he's doing, which is doing drugs, being a narcissist, being a jerk, being an asshole, eventually what happens is, I was trying to block it out, let's do it this way. Eventually what happens is, I'm trying to find another, here it is. What happens is, eventually, his light is out, okay? And when this light is out over here, and this person has chosen sin again and again and again and again, and they are now dead, their light has gone out, their lampstand is gone, there's no more oil in their lamp. I mean, there is, but they weren't using it appropriately. And now this person over here is still alive. And now that this light, which separated itself from God, is burnt out, a burnout, okay, because there's no light coming. This person is dead, okay, and this person over here doesn't know yet. They still are unaware that the other person is dead, but yet there's something they feel that's missing because of the connection, okay, the two become one idea, okay. And then finally, when they get the information and the word that their, the person that they love, their fiance, their light has gone out. They have died. And at this point, this light is like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? How am I going to, like, this is just so sudden. And it's all of like, we're going to be this amazing couple, but his light is out, and what am I going to do? And you feel like his spirit is around you right when the person dies. You feel like they're just like around you with just weird things. That's what I sensed, and it's part of my grief. I sensed like the heaviness of this spirit being around me, okay? And I was warned by people in my church, like, don't pay attention to any of those voices, just focus on Jesus, focus on Yeshua, focus on the Holy Spirit, and let your light shine. Like, don't worry about this light that went out. And so I focused on just my connection with God and with Jesus and with the Holy Spirit. And in my weeping, and one of my favorite verses in the Bible is Jesus wept, and Jesus wept, and I wept. Like, there's just so much time, so many days of weeping, of just mourning the loss of what was, mourning the loss of what could have been, all of the possibilities that I thought were going to happen as a couple with two people, and now I'm a single person holding my own light again. I don't have anybody watching out for me. I don't have anybody protecting me in the sense of, a man, okay? I have God protecting me, but that's another part. I'm just saying, when his light burned out, then my light is just a single light. It's not two anymore. It's just one. And in that, I notice how, everybody that's a couple, and there's two of them, how they have joy. And now it's like my joy feels like it's burnt out because his light burnt out. And I'm sensing the loss of joy, the loss of life, the loss of just potential things, visions, dreams, the whole thing. And in that sadness, I'm really, mourning the person of who he was and who I thought he was, and all the days that we had, and the memories and the fun times and the laughter and the joy, and like just everything of who I thought he was. This amazing, loving, kind, sweet man that I fell in love with. And I kept looking at the fact that his light was out, and I started to think about that, more of what these Bible verses talking about people being taken, and that word taken in different versions means different things. And sometimes taken means kidnapped, and sometimes taken means killed, and like there's different varieties or versions of it. And I just sat with that in different verses of the Bible, and then I was just like, still I'm alone. Like, I still feel like a widow because I was engaged. I had intertwined my entire life with this man, planning out a wedding and a life and businesses, and now it's just me. And as just me, I can't fulfill all of those things that were designed for two people, but now there's only one. And so when I sat with that burden of how am I supposed to continue with the ministry, how am I supposed to continue with the businesses, how am I supposed to continue, and it's just like during that grieving mourning period, all I could do was just sit still and just be, and just let God love me and receive God's love, because I was just a mess. And as I started to accept that his light was out, I started to focus on what I could do one day at a time. I could take a shower. I could clean the dishes in the sink. I could read a book. I could have coffee with a friend and take a walk. And as time went on, I started to think, okay, well, maybe I can do a business, but I don't know if I could do the businesses that we were doing before, because I'm just not ready for that yet. If that demands a lot more energy, I don't know if I have that energy. So I started a cleaning business. The furthest thing from my desires, but it was practical. And the funny thing is, when you start cleaning up somebody else's act, when you're a cleaning lady, and you're doing a cleaning service, you see somebody else's dirt and mess, and you're like, holy crap, this person is really disgusting. And you're doing it, and you're getting paid to clean this disgusting dirt. And then when you see the before and after, and I would take pictures of, here's this really dirty bathroom, and now here's this clean bathroom, and here's this dirty kitchen, and now here's this clean kitchen. And there was a sense of satisfaction in cleaning up somebody else's act. And then when I'd come home to my apartment after this long day of cleaning somebody else's dirt and grime, after I'd take off all the disgusting clothes, immediately put them in my washer, and then I'd jump in the shower and take a shower. After I was clean, I'd come into my kitchen and I'd be like, I need to clean my kitchen. And then I'd clean my kitchen. And I go into my bathroom, I'd be like, I need to clean my bathroom. And I clean my bathroom. And after a while, the normal routines that had piled up, I started to have like a routine and a system again. And I'm not saying that I have it all together, because I really don't. And, I have some systems that are working better than others as I progress and can balance and manage more balls in the air. But grief and mourning and the loss of two and just becoming a one person again, and when your life had already expanded to the level of two and the responsibilities that two can carry, and then it falls apart, it's kind of difficult for the one to carry the load of the two. And that's really what I've been going through the past couple years. And in that, people treat you differently. You know, when there's two of you, you know, it seems that women are intimidated about their husband running off with you. But when it's just you and you're a single person, it's like all of a sudden my friends who were couples and married, I'm not getting invitations to social events because I'm just a single person now. And I'm speaking this out loudly because this is part of the grief transition, and the mourning period is not only are you mourning the person that you lost, but you're also mourning the life that you had as a couple with that person, and now all of a sudden you're a single person, and your couple friends that you spent most of your time with, they don't want you around as a single person. And then you're trying to find a new network of single people that you can hang out with because they don't have a partner, and therefore they might want to hang out with you because you're a single woman and they're not intimidated by you. And then I spent time hanging out with single women that had never been married, and what I found was that some of them really had some of their principles twisted. And, you know, I'm not sitting here saying that I can do it all by myself. I'm not. I still would like to have a partner, but I would like to have a partner that their light is on and shining as brightly as mine, and that together two lights become one, and those two lights independently can keep putting and turning on more lights and save more souls. And those lights, independently they can work, and together they can work even more as a team. And when you have one person with a burnt out light, or a dull light, or a dim light, you know, it's going to wear down the one person who's really shining, and or the person who's shining brightly is going to get tired of all the things that are out of integrity with the person that doesn't have their light bulb turned on right. So I know I'm kind of going all over the place and my voice is starting to hurt again, so I'm going to try to wrap it up. When your light is turned on, and that means that you are aligned and linked with God, our Father, the God of Israel, Jehovah, and you understand that He created His Son that came down as a perfect man in perfect union with God and lived a perfect life, and He died for all the sin that was created by Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden in Genesis, all the way up to here we are right now. And He died on a cross so that we could have freedom from bondage, and that freedom is in Jesus at the cross. And when He died, He was buried. 3 days later, He rose from the dead. He ascended into heaven, and He reigns and rules with God our Father in perfect harmony. And we wait for His second coming, where we will rule and reign with Him for 1,000 years. Now, some of the stuff in the Bible can be interpreted, and many people get things, their perceptions and things are different. But the point still comes down to this. When you are aligned with God our Father and Jesus His Son, through Jesus His Son, and you receive the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit starts to guide you and kick out all the other evil spirits that were dimming your light, because the dimness that once was in you is gone because you're shining brightly. And the Holy Spirit kicks out all those other evil spirits that were trying to dissuade you from doing the right thing. And now the Holy Spirit is guiding you, and you are on the path of righteousness. You're on the straight and narrow path, and your life is being transformed day by day by the Holy Spirit, and becoming and being regenerated into the new man and the new woman. So I hope that helps. I hope you have a nice Shabbat, and Shabbat Shalom. Good night, everybody.